were Marvel's next big thing: heroes with solo comics, fan clubs, and toy deals. But in the middle of the Bronze Age, they vanished. No grand farewell, no final battle, just sudden cancellation and complete silence. Some returned decades later, reinvented for a new era. Others stayed forgotten, but in their time, they were erased without warning, leaving fans confused and Marvel quietly moving on. So, who were these Marvel heroes and why did they vanish? Here are 10 Marvel heroes who disappeared. At number 10 is Adam Warlock. Created as a perfect being, Warlock's early days were a struggle. His first solo series failed, but in 1975, writer Jim Starlin gave him a second chance, turning him into a cosmic savior. Warlock's battle against his dark future self, the Magus, and the oppressive Universal Church of Truth gave readers one of Marvel's most powerful character arcs. But just as his story reached its peak, it ended. In 1977, Warlock sacrificed his life to defeat Thanos and erase the Magus from existence. Despite critical acclaim, his comic was canceled, and Warlock vanished from Marvel for more than a decade. No reboots, no revivals, just a hero whose greatest victory was also his last appearance. For Bronze Age fans, it was heartbreaking to see such a rich, philosophical character disappear from the spotlight. It wasn't until the early 90s that Warlock finally returned, resurrected from obscurity to become a key figure in Marvel's cosmic stories once again. At number 9 is Nova, the human rocket. In 1976, Richard Rider went from an ordinary Queens teenager to a cosmic-powered hero overnight. Marvel launched him with big hopes, blending street-level charm and intergalactic battles. For a moment, he seemed like Marvel's next big thing, teaming up with Spider-Man, facing cosmic villains like the Sphinx, and earning a loyal fan base. But by 1979, the excitement faded. Sales dropped, his solo series was canceled after just 25 issues, and Marvel quietly sent Nova into space, stripping him of his powers. After a brief goodbye in Fantastic Four, he disappeared entirely from comics, forgotten for over a decade. Fans moved on. Marvel moved on. Nova became one of the Bronze Age's many lost heroes, a character who vanished without a legacy. But years later, he made a single return, joining the New Warriors in the 1990s, finally getting a second chance. A long-lost rocket, finally back in flight. At number 8 is Omega the Unknown. In 1976, Marvel launched Omega the Unknown, a mysterious alien hero linked to a boy named James Michael Starling. Created by Steve Gerber, the series mixed superhero action with deep personal struggles. Omega fought strange villains while James Michael dealt with school bullies and visions of a life he didn't understand. Critics praised its emotional depth, but readers didn't respond the same way. Sales dropped quickly. By 1977, Marvel abruptly canceled the book after just 10 issues, leaving its mysteries unsolved. 2 years later, in Defenders issues 76 and 77, Marvel rushed to close the story. Omega was killed off, and James Michael was revealed to be an android, an ending written without the original creator's input. After that, Omega the Unknown disappeared for decades. No team appearances, no legacy titles, until a brief 2007 reboot gave the character a final chapter. Omega became a Bronze Age casualty, a hero who arrived with mystery and vanished without a second chance for decades. At number 7, Deathlock. In 1974, Marvel introduced Deathlock, a cyborg soldier from a broken future, haunted by war and losing his grip on humanity. Luther Manning was part man, part machine, and all tragedy. His debut in Astonishing Tales stunned readers, a dystopian anti-hero in a world gone cold. The art was gritty, the tone bleak, and the concept far ahead of its time. But just as readers connected with Manning's struggle, the series vanished. Astonishing Tales was canceled in 1976, leaving Deathlock's story unfinished. One final tale sat unpublished for years. Scattered guest appearances followed, but none reignited the flame. By the mid-80s, Luther Manning was gone, a forgotten relic of the Bronze Age. And yet, fans never forgot. Deathlock's blend of body horror and moral conflict inspired generations of cyborg characters. His legacy lived on in spirit, even as Marvel replaced him. He was a warning, a weapon, and a man trapped in a machine. And he vanished too soon. At number 6, Killraven. Killraven wasn't just another superhero. He was a freedom fighter born in a future where Earth had fallen to Martian invaders. First appearing in Amazing Adventures, issue 18, 1973, Killraven's story took shape under writer Don McGregor and artist P. Craig Russell, who turned a sci-fi pulp tale into a poetic epic. They tackled themes of oppression, love, and identity, even breaking ground with comics' first dramatic interracial kiss. But while critics praised it, Killraven never found mass appeal. His run struggled in a low-selling title, and by 1976, Amazing Adventures was canceled. His war against the Martians was left unfinished, his fight for freedom unresolved. Years later, Marvel gave McGregor and Russell a final shot. Killraven, Warrior of the Worlds, 1983, offered a bittersweet conclusion. After that, Killraven vanished. He never joined the big leagues. He never got the animated show once planned. But for a brief moment, Killraven stood tall, a rebel who fought and faded with grace. At number 5, Night Nurse aka Linda Carter. In 1972, Marvel tried something bold, a comic not about superpowers, but compassion. Night Nurse starred Linda Carter, a determined young woman who chose a life of healing over love, standing up to a controlling fiancé to follow her calling. Set in the urgent chaos of a big city hospital, the comic explored class, sexism, and moral courage, all from the eyes of a nurse. But the market wasn't ready. After just 4 issues, Night Nurse was canceled. While other heroines like Tigra and Shauna evolved into superheroes, Linda simply vanished. No guest spots, no mentions, just gone. For decades she was forgotten, a pioneer lost in Marvel's rush back to action, but her story didn't end there. In 2004, Brian Bendis resurrected her as the secret medic to injured heroes, giving Linda Carter a second life. She may have vanished in the Bronze Age, but her legacy as Marvel's quiet healer eventually gained recognition. At number 4, The Human Fly. In 1977, Marvel launched The Human Fly, a comic loosely inspired by a real-life stuntman who claimed to perform death-defying acts for charity. The fictional version debuted in The Human Fly issue 1, featuring a masked man rebuilt with steel bones after a crash, now using his stunts to help people and stop crime. Marvel marketed him as the wildest superhero ever because he's real, hoping to tap into the stuntman craze sparked by Evel Knievel. The comic ran for 19 issues and included large-scale stunt set pieces, including roller coaster rescues, wing walking on a 747, among other things. Despite early curiosity, sales dropped quickly. The character's identity was never revealed, he barely interacted with the Marvel Universe, and the book followed a formulaic structure. By 1979, The Human Fly was canceled and never returned in mainstream Marvel, becoming one of the Bronze Age's most forgotten heroes. And the last 3, Marvel didn't just cancel them. They erased entire worlds, horror icons, and highway legends, leaving nothing but rumors behind. At number 3, Skull the Slayer. In 1975, Marvel launched Skull the Slayer, a series following Vietnam vet Jim Scully, who crashes in the Bermuda Triangle and wakes in a lost world of dinosaurs, aliens, and ancient civilizations. Wearing a high-tech belt that boosts his strength, Skull becomes a survivalist hero in a setting mixing pulp adventure and sci-fi. Early issues showed promise, battles with T-Rexes, Aztec cities, and political tension among the survivors. But behind the scenes, the book struggled. Creator Marv Wolfman left after a few issues. Other writers stepped in, leading to a jarring shift in tone. By issue 8, Skull uncovers an alien run in Kin City, but the series was abruptly canceled right there, mid-story. Marvel quickly wrapped up the plot in Marvel 2-in-1 issues 35 to 37, featuring Skull's return to modern Earth with the Thing. After that, he faded from view, marking another Bronze Age concept that never fully developed. At number 2, Werewolf by Night, Jack Russell. In 1972, Marvel unleashed a tragic monster unlike any other, Jack Russell, a young man cursed to transform into a werewolf under every full moon. His series, Werewolf by Night, ran for 43 issues and stood as a pillar of Marvel's horror boom in the 70s. Jack's tortured duality, gothic tone, and even the historic debut of Moon Knight made the book a standout. But by 1977, horror comics were fading, sales dropped, and Jack's story was abruptly wrapped up, with a last-issue cure that ended the run. After that, he disappeared from solo stories, with no major team-ups and just one cameo for the rest of the Bronze Age. For years, Jack Russell, once one of Marvel's most visible horror icons, was just gone. It wasn't until the 90s supernatural revival that he re-emerged in scattered cameos. For over a decade, Marvel left Jack behind when the genre lost its place. At number 1, US 1. In 1983, Marvel launched US 1, a 12-issue series starring Ulysses Solomon Archer, a trucker with a metal skull that could pick up CB signals. Created by Al Milgrom and Herb Trimpe, he drove a futuristic rig, battled villains on the highway, and even flew a space shuttle truck. The series was based on Tyco's US 1 toy line, making it one of Marvel's earliest licensed tie-ins. The comic embraced trucker culture and campy action, aiming at younger readers, but it never found a broad audience. Sales were modest, and once the toy deal ended, so did the book. Issue 12, October 1984, wrapped up the story with US, defeating his villainous brother and launching into space. After that, he vanished. He wasn't added to any teams, didn't appear in major crossovers, and received no follow-ups. By 1985, US Archer was completely gone from Marvel's publishing line. The trucker-turned-hero had left the road with no plans for return. Marvel left these heroes behind. But which one deserves a make or return? If you like the video, hit the subscribe and like button and press the bell icon for regular updates.